Grace has once again been arrested, this time for allegedly stealing a church van in Virginia. Grace Kelly has unfortunately faced a number of legal issues over the years. Dating back to 2015, she was arrested and charged with promotion of meth manufacture. And just 5 months after that arrest, in May of 2016, she pled guilty to a lesser charge, possession of meth. Later that same year, in November 2016, Grace was arrested in Alabama, accused of being a fugitive from justice. Her probation would be revoked. Then, in June of 2018, Grace would later be sentenced to 8 years in prison for violating her probation after she left a rehab facility before finishing the program. The following year, in 2019, just 1 year into her 8-year sentence, Grace was released from prison after being granted parole. She would be arrested again in April of 2021 on a parole violation. And earlier this year in April, Grace was arrested in Alabama, accused of indecent exposure and obstructing governmental operations. And now, troubling new details have emerged of Grace Kelly's recent arrest in Albemarle County in Virginia, where she's accused of stealing a Charlottesville's church van. According to local news outlet The Daily Progress, Kelly remains held without bond in an Albemarle Charlottesville regional jail. According to Kent Hart, the pastor of the local church, who saw his van being stolen, he said, quote, "She didn't seem like she was in her right mind at all. He actually ended up chasing Grace down and getting the church van back. And now she's facing 7 charges, including 3 felony counts of grand larceny." It all started back on October 27th, when Pastor Hart says he was in his kitchen of a Scottsville area home. That's when he saw the church van leaving his driveway. He said, "I'm talking to my daughter, and I look out the window, and I see the van leaving my house." He ended up chasing down the stolen van and finding it stopped on the edge of the road. He found a woman behind the wheel. He says, quote, "I'm like, 'You stole my van, get out of my van,' beating on the door. And at this point, I see her very clearly. I saw her buzz cut and face tattoo." He continued, "It looked to me like she could have been high, like she didn't really seem like she was completely in her right mind." It was then that Grace reportedly took off, driving the stolen church van around his Chevrolet Yukon that he used to try to box her in. According to the report, a responding officer in the area would locate the stolen church van and initiate a traffic stop. Writing in the report, Grace advised that a male suspect had exited the driver's seat and ran into the woods, but the officer would review his dash cam footage to be sure, and he found that Kelly was the driver and sole occupant of the van. He wrote in his report, quote, "She began stating that she had sold her soul to the devil, and as for the pastor with that stolen church van, he said, he truly hopes for the best for Kelly." He said, quote, "We devoted an entire service to her. We cut the live stream off, and we as a church prayed for her and her family. On a personal level, we forgive her. If there's ever an opportunity for us to be a part of her redemptive process in any way, we're absolutely open for that." The church has launched a fundraiser for a new van on GoFundMe, which is linked to in the description. That's your latest update from CountryCast. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe with notifications on for the latest news and updates.